Oh, hi, Conrads. It's me, Turble Selbor, the YouTube Linux gamer whose top doctors say has a weight ideal for a man of my height and build, which, I mean, cool, I guess. Anyway, today, instead of the normal content where I'm a gaming dum-dum, I've decided to do something that everyone seems to want on YouTube, and that is, of course, the analytical essay. And what have I decided to talk about in this video essay? Uh, Captain Bible. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, Captain Bible was a game that I played on this channel, some time ago. Follow me for any period of time, you know I could slog through fucking anything, and Captain Bible was a slog. I believe it is in 36 parts, which is alarmingly high. I don't think we've had a series that has gone on as long as Captain Bible, and that's partly because I lost heart partway through it. So I definitely have some opinions about this game, and specifically, I mean, it's bad. All right, Captain Bible is a bad game. It's not fun to play, but it's bad in a way that I think is interesting, and I think that a lot of the time people don't think about what makes a game bad. Why a game is bad is often more interesting to me than why a game is good. I'm not trying to quote Anna Karenina too much here. I mean, Tolstoy's a little above my pay range, right? I'm doing this for free. We're talking like, it was the opening of Anna Karenina is like all happy families are the same and all unhappy families are unhappy in their own way or something like that. And I feel like that doesn't 100% apply to video games, but it applies a lot. Yeah, so it's bad. It's like real bad. And this isn't really a review of the game itself. I played the whole damn thing. I'll have a link in the description of like, hey, you can watch it here, all 36 parts. You can see me like break down in real time. But like, let's be real here. It's like bad in an interesting way. It's bad for like cool and fun reasons rather than just stupid reasons. Am I right? The basic premise I'm trying to go for here, and I think that you'll see as we go through my long ass review of this game, that the devs in this game are not trying to merely accomplish creating a video game. They're trying to get you to believe in biblical literalism. So my central thesis here, right? In order for a game to be good, it needs to be able to draw the player into the game and allow them to have an experience of some kind. And Captain Bible, let's be real, fails to accomplish this in a way that I am going to explain why it's fascinating to me. Now, you're welcome to disagree with me in the comments, and in fact, please do. And I am going to say for the like 3 Christian nationalists who are going to like be coming into this video comment and be like mad at me, what can I say? Do better. Keep in mind that I am going to be talking about real human people. Do not harass these people. Like, do not look these people up unless you're like interested in what they're doing. But I'm going to mention real people on the dev team. They don't deserve to be made fun of. It's a thing they did like 30 years ago. So like, just leave them alone if you feel like you want to harass them. I'm going to get that shit out of the way right now. Captain Bible was made by Bridgestone Media Group. Oh, who could forget Bridgestone Media Group? And that company is now BMG International, of course, which is owned by another company called Twin Engine International. And just looking at that fucking logo, oh my God. I think they want to do evangelism in foreign countries. This is just a very like TBN kind of shit going on right here. Now, keep in mind, these people are like the ultimate combination of the marriage between Christian dominionism and capitalism, right? Their main thing is they think that they're going to really win the world for Jesus by buying up media companies and using money to like basically slowly shift everybody into being a Christian dominionist. It's a fun move. It's cool, but they've got this like layered thing of properties they own, right? So BMG International. They own Epix games. Like, they own the entire Epix games library, apparently. All of them. They haven't made any games since the 1990s. They don't give a fuck about that. I took the effort to look through all this shit in their websites, and they're all made with the same templates. You got all this guy. You got that really, they've got this faith-centric branding from Bridgestone Media Group, or sorry, BMG International. And then they got this thing called Desk Pop, and they made a movie called Screamboat based on Steamboat Willie. What? But they are definitely trying with BMG to like appeal to a certain type of demographic, and that demographic is right-wing Christians. They don't perceive themselves to be right-wing. They can perceive themselves to be only real Christianity, but they are right-wing. Okay? So they are desperate for good media. Like, they are desperate. I don't know if you spent much time in the Christian media space. Probably the best example of this incredible movie my spouse made me watch called Fireproof, right? Which was sort of a good movie, kind of. I don't know. If you don't hang with these type of Christians, you need to know like one thing about them, and that is they do not trust what they refer to as secular media. Secular media is basically anything that wasn't made specifically by them or people that they like, okay? For example, I grew up in the 90s, and my parents were chill enough to let me play Pokemon. I knew kids who could not play Pokemon because Pocket Monster sounds like demons to me, and it's from Japan, and Japan's all Buddhist or whatever. I don't know. There's a deep distrust of media that they're not in control of that isn't pumping their message, right? So let's go into the basics here, right? Captain Bible was released in 1993. It was coded by like these 6 people, all right? And the credits are like 15 people, and 2 of them are married. So like it was not a big team. That wasn't that weird for the 1990s video game scene for DOS. Like, that wasn't an abnormally weirdly sized team. And this one name keeps popping up over and over, and that is, of course, this motherfucker, Peter Engelbright. So I looked this guy up. He's a lead designer of the game. He worked for Epix for a while, and he is very devout. Like, I'm not here to disparage his particular brand of theology, nor am I here to disparage him. He's just a devout guy. I know that he's devout because I fucked around on the internet trying to find this guy for a while, and I found some interesting shit. So for starters, he uploaded a copy of the New King James Version Bible to archive.org. And one comment that he made on this post really stood out to me, and that is this particular phrase: care has been taken to change nothing doctrinally, but simply to update the spelling and vocabulary, right? Now, I can't say for sure, but this to me looks like somebody trying to kind of like get KJV purists to not care as much, right? And this is important. There is a sect of American Christians, it's actually fairly popular, I've run into this a couple times, who they reject so much of church history, right? And so much of the tradition of retranslating the text over and over, particularly in English, they will not go back to the original text. They have no interest in the Greek. They have no interest in the Aramaic. They have no interest in the Hebrew or the Bible. They instead believe that the King James Version, yeah, that King James Version, by that stupid King James II, fuck that guy. They believe that version is the actual real word of God. Like, God just was like, oh, Bible 2.0, there you go. This is the good version now. Only use that. Peter, if you see this, if you watch this video, I really want to talk to you. I know you're probably like in your 70s, and I do have some questions for you. And I doubt you spent a shit ton of time thinking about Captain Bible in your life, but I would really like to talk to you. I think you would have some interesting insights into how this game was developed. So if you see this, Peter, reach out. My email's on the channel. Let's do it, or just like leave a comment and we'll like DM. Let's do it. So this is a guy with a strong devotion to biblicism, which is like the thing in Protestantism and by extension, evangelicals, right? So I tried looking up this other guy, Andre Chung, because I see his name a lot in these credits. But unfortunately, there's also a prolific photojournalist with the same name, and I'm pretty sure they're not the same guy. Like, if it is the same guy, like, let me know in the comments. But it seems unlikely to me. just because I think that guy's too young to have made this game. I also looked up Eve Engelbright, whose name showed up multiple times in the credits. She's a Bible scholar. She teaches high school right now, apparently. I think she's the wife of Peter Engelbright, or maybe sister. I don't know. Couldn't figure that out. I took a gander at her published work, though, just to see, and I don't know enough about the modern state of Sumerian royal chronology to judge her work fairly, but, like, she's definitely posted a lot of papers about, like, king chronologies in the Levant, resolving them with the Bible. I don't know. I'm not a Bible scholar, and I'm also not an archaeologist, so I have no right to judge this woman's work, because I have no fucking idea if it's good or bad, so we'll just leave it at that. But the important thing I want to point out is you have two people on the team that I can confirm that are extremely committed to the project of Biblicism. And of course, now I have to explain what the fuck is Biblicism, right? And then we'll just kind of go from there. Biblicism is the answer Protestants came up with when they ditched popery, or the Pope. Basically, in organized Christianity, there's a dumb focus on hierarchy, in my opinion. And specifically in the two strongest brands, Catholicism and Protestantism, there must be someone to be in authority over the church. And for Catholics, this authority resides in the, like, church hierarchy, right? In the ecclesiasticary, like the Pope, the priests, the cardinals, like all that. They have that structure. Protestants couldn't do that because their big beef was with the church hierarchy. So they essentially recreated it via this method called sola scriptura. So they would argue, Protestants who ascribe to Biblicism, which is the vast majority of Protestants, would argue that the Bible is the ultimate spiritual authority. All right? It's like it's a book that came from God, that has all the answers in it. And the only reason you're not getting what you want is because you fucked up your interpretation of the book. That's effectively what Protestant attitude towards the Bible is. If they make an argument, they will almost always go back to, well, this is in the Bible, okay? They've leaned so heavy into the Bible and they treat it like a magic text that can fix things. It's of paramount importance that people see the text, right? Because seeing the text is magic and will fix you. Because if the book itself is a spiritual authority, then the words themselves have some kind of spiritual power. You're all gonna see. You've all seen this in a bunch of different ways. So you'll see people like who hand you like Bible verses, or you'll see people like posting Bible verses in public, or wanting to put Bible verses up in public places, or screaming Bible verses at people while you're in drag, like this fella. Okay, let's be real. I haven't done a lot of drag, but I do cross dress a lot. Yeah, you know, it's like Kevin, he handed me a Bible verse. It's like a man with long hair is a sinner. And I'm like, yeah, but like your penis tells me that you like a sinner now and again. So anyway, Captain Bible's a video game. But it's basically what happens when you combine Biblicism and video games. The core gameplay loop of Captain Bible is thus. You walk around. You collect Bible verses. You talk to demon robots who lie to you. And if you have the right verse to rebuke their lies, then you get a little fighting minigame, which is fun. After you've collected all the Bible verses in a level, you could talk to a person who's under the sway of the devil. If you choose the right combination of verses, this will convert the person back to Christianity. Eventually, you collect all 6, and then you can drive the TBN Gundam, which is what I'm referring to the Bible bot, or whatever the hell it's called, to attack the devil's evil crystal and win the game. The final stage is slightly different than the other stages, but it's basically the same core gameplay loop. And on reflection, after having not played this game for a while, and then like looking at some of these videos I put up, it's like, okay, there's like 3 big things with this game that are really important, all right? And that is the Bible is central to the gameplay. Like, everything revolves around having the right verses, finding the right verses, and using the right combination of verses. Nothing can be done without the Bible. Literally everything requires you to find more verses. No conversion can happen without the right Bible verse. No unlocking of locked doors can happen without the right Bible verse. No fighting demon robots, even when they harm you, like physically, like shock you. You can't fight them unless you have the Bible verse. It's basically a collectathon, right? With this attitude towards the Bible being so central to gameplay, it's not even the whole Bible itself that's actually the deal here. The Bible isn't being treated like a text or like a code or pass lock. It's being treated like a chunk of the divine, right? You're fighting demon monsters. The only way that you can even consider starting to fight demon monsters is if you have the right magic words to start the fight. This is a very biblicist way of looking at it. Yeah, no fighting, no talking, or at least nothing productive could be done. Pretty much the only thing you could do without the Bible in this game is wander around and get killed by demon robots or go pray for more faith. That's it. Those of you who have been part of certain what they call Bible-believing churches can attest that this is sort of how people think other people who are not Christians spend their time, right? They're just kind of wandering around in a malaise until Jesus saves you. So the other thing I wanted to point out too, and this is kind of subtle, but it's there, is the exact words matter, okay? The exact words for the use of the Bible scriptures matter. Captain Bible can't trust his own memory. For a guy called Captain Bible, you think he could at least be bothered to remember a few verses, but no. He can only use a Bible verse if he has the exact verse in his computer Bible. Assuming there weren't hardware limitations, right? Which there probably were a few. The creators kind of see the Bible this way, or at least they're trying to get the player to see the Bible this way, right? The idea that like the Bible itself and its literal words, like the literal specific words in that order have some kind of divine element to them, have some kind of fundamental truth that exists just inside those words in that order, okay? This is how the game approaches the Bible. The words themselves are what matter and have power. When I see this attitude towards the Bible, it immediately tells me that the creators were very sensitive to the idea of the exact words. And we see that in the archive.org post from the game's lead designer, is the idea that the words and their order are critical. And they are very sensitive to the fact that people would criticize them in this way about this game. There's a lot of, I want to call, like, throughout the game, be it fighting a demon, unlocking a door, talking to some honestly really great character design characters. Every challenge is overcome by having the right verse to hand. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong the first 10 times either. Like, you can literally just keep going back and putting in the wrong verses. In fact, if you watched these, you'll know that several puzzles, because I couldn't understand the logic that the creators had in using one verse for another, because it turns out it is very interpretive and subjective. You can just keep walking up to them, and if you get the right verse one time, that person will be magically transformed. We've all had relatives like this, right? Y'all, you all know Aunt Sally, right? And she's like, she knows that you follow the gay lifestyle. She knows that I follow the gay lifestyle, right? And wants to save you from a terrible fate of going to evangelical hell, okay? So she sends you a Bible verse about how sodomy is abomination, or, my favorite, Paul doesn't like gay people, right? That's like 80% of Ephesians. Sadly, I would say that this certainly has some degree of motivation via hate. Sure, 100%. But her actions aren't just motivated by hate. Rather, your aunt believes that because the words of the Bible of themselves are divine/magical, if you see the words, God might zap you straight, right? It's like, oh my God, I was living in sin. And then my beloved aunt, who prays every day for my salvation, saw that I was living in sin and sent me a Bible verse that said, it is an abomination for a man to lie with a man. And I was like, I didn't know. And now I know. And that's why I got to break up with you, honey bun. I'm sorry. This is a breakup video. It's happening right now. I'm single again. No, it's not happening. All right. This is a common theme in conversion stories in the church, right? You'll see this a lot. I was like, oh, I was living bad. And then someone said a Bible verse to me and I felt better. And I joined the church. This is very common in these Christian circles, and this game sort of like is swimming in those waters, and it's probably written for people like that. So taken all together, right, this game appears to be trying to accomplish two goals. Just given that core gameplay loop and this attitude towards the Bible and its central mechanic, right, the game is attempting to get the player to, number one, become more familiar with the Bible and its various verses, right? This is a Bible memorization game, and I'll be honest, it improved my Bible knowledge, even though I'm a guy who shockingly knows the Bible pretty well. All right. Then number two, and this is a little more subtle, the game is trying to get the player to think about the Bible in these magical terms, in these biblical literalist terms. You know what neither of these two things are? The player experience. Neither one. And this is what makes, to me, Captain Bible so interesting. I will say they were so obsessed with trying to get people to do those first two things, they forgot to make a game that was interesting. Captain Bible was fun for about 10 minutes. I'll be generous and say about 10 minutes, I was like, oh, this is kind of kooky. This is kind of fun. I'm liking this. This is cool. And every time I'd pick it up again, I'm like, maybe I'll replicate that experience. That didn't happen, right? So for a game to be enjoyable to play, like, you gotta care about player experience. So I'm going to contrast this in a very unfair comparison, because there's another game on this channel, right, that we've played. We've played more than one game. I think we could attest to that. And specifically, another game in which the entire premise of the game revolves around a single mechanic. And that, of course, and it's highly spiritual, right? And it's about eternity. And that, of course, would be The Void. Yeah, that's right. The game with all the titties in it. Yeah. So in The Void, the player is a spirit who's already died and is in a purgatory-like world that is dying around them. Their only salvation is a substance called color. Most of the game's mechanics revolve around collecting, cultivating, and using the resource of color. All the NPCs can talk about is color. All the boss fights start and end with color. Color is magic. It's the very substance of life. The color whispers into your fucking ears when no one else is around and tells you to betray people so you can get more color. Throughout the game, from the way the control interface works to the fact that the tutorial straight up misleads you into wasting this precious resource, the game designers were thinking about the player experience, right? The controls are sluggish because you're like a spirit who's dying. Move around in a weird way, right? This weird gait. Resources are hard to manage and often scarce. You can't trust the NPCs because they're trying to steal your precious color, right? The player is encouraged to be paranoid, selfish, and act out of desperation. Centered in the game's design philosophy is the player experience. The devs aren't trying to get the character to believe a certain thing, or at least it's not obvious that they're doing that. They're trying to immerse the player in a gaming world and so they can have an experience, even if it's like depressing. In my opinion, for a game to be good, it just has to transport the player. You can have the shittiest looking game on the planet. Rogue, it's just text on a wall, like most roguelikes. I'm like in that game when I'm playing it. Like my brain is in that game. That's what makes the game good, is it can transport me from where I'm at, sitting in front of a computer, to, oh, I guess I'm a rogue now, right? RPGs are like the classic example of this, okay? But it's not just that. Like, when I'm playing Stellaris or Victoria 3, like, I'm in that game. For you chess players out there, you know that you could get transported by a game of chess. You could be put into that game, even though it's just an arbitrary set of rules and it's like, you know, abstract. You could get caught up in that game. Captain Bible, you don't do that. You are acutely aware that you are playing a game the entire time. Aside from the opening cinematic and arguably like the first 10 minutes of the first level, and then of course the end, I was not really transported most of the time. I was definitely playing the game and I was working at playing that game. If you watched my edits, there were long sections where I'm like, you know what, we'll just do this at 8x speed because it's just me walking down a hallway swearing at how I'm taking damage and then going back down that same hallway. It's like a whole fucking thing. Captain Bible is interesting to me because it's clear that the creators cared immensely about their worldview and about getting the player to come to a certain place in their beliefs. They didn't really care about, like, how is the player in this game world. Like, they didn't think about the player experience very much. I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say about Captain Bible. Like, you know, it was definitely an experience, and I think that realistically, it's a 30-year-old game. Nobody fucking cares, right? But I hope that you got something out of this. I certainly did. I feel like a weight has gotten off my chest to explain why I didn't like it and why it wasn't good. go ahead, watch some of my videos. Watch that fucking playlist from like 2 years ago. My video production values have increased significantly. You want to see the game yourself, make your own judgment, watch me fucking play it, or go download it right now, because you know what? You can still get it. It's free. It's on Abandonware. So check it out or not. And thanks for watching.